Sydney.
Well, that very question is one that shareholders at BP are asking. In just over an hour's time, we'll be getting the latest numbers from the oil giant. Analysts are expecting it to show some very healthy profits once again, as energy firms continue to benefit from soaring prices. If we look at last year, BP saw annual profits coming in at just over $40 billion, the highest in its 115-year history. So what are we going to hear, as I say, in just over an hour's time? Let's talk to Cornelia Meyer, independent energy analyst, and also used to work at BP way back in the day under Lord Brown. So Cornelia, first of all, let's talk about the numbers. It's going to be another bumper rise in profits, isn't it?
Well, it's going to be looking good. In terms of revenue, it's probably going to be slightly below what we saw first quarter last year. But in terms of earnings, profits, it's going to be better because they had a charge for the Russian business in the first quarter last year. So it's probably going to look pretty good.
And that will once again fuel the debate in the UK about windfall taxes on the profits made by companies such as BP. We've got an election coming up in just over 12 months' time, and it's likely to be a big issue, isn't it?
It is a big issue, but it's also an issue for the oil companies, because on one hand, for the energy companies, on one hand, you are expecting, or the public is expecting, energy companies to secure the supply of hydrocarbons and also to support the transition to, the energy transition. And BP will this year, 30% of its investments will go to sort of towards energy transition, renewables, etc. By the end of the decade, it will be 50%. So if you really want these companies to retool themselves and become greener and become part of the energy transition and have the money to do that, you can't tax it all away.
Okay, well let's talk about BP's plans. It scaled back its emissions targets. Bernard Looney, the boss, when he became CEO of BP, very much played the whole renewables card, the green card, and yet they have reduced their targets for reducing emissions quite significantly in the last 12 months. Why have they done that?
Well, I think what happened, and Bernard Looney said that, I think, about 2 weeks ago, what happened with the whole Ukraine war, energy security became more important again. So, they have done things like investing in Browse, so buying the Browse, that's a big gas field in Australia, which will produce LNG, buying the stake from Shell and things like that, because you might remember just about a year ago, we were all scrambling. We were all saying, oh my God, do we have enough oil? Do we have enough gas? So that was essentially what was happening.
Just quickly, Cornelia, because as I say, years ago, you worked at BP. Do you feel they've got it right now? Is Bernard Looney doing a good job? Has he got the strategy right in the market we're in right now, given the risk that Russia poses, etc.?
He has it 100% right. And I also would like to say that BP were the first oil company saying, look, we need to move beyond petroleum. Remember that? That was Lord Brown.
I do.
Remember that? So they were the first ones. They were way ahead of their time.
All right. Cornelia, good to talk to you. We appreciate your analysis. And I know we'll speak to you again once we get the numbers from BP, which, as I said, are coming a little later.